Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. I know it's a crazy time right now, and I, if I were you, I know the last thing I'd be thinking about is doing schoolwork, but it's our hope that when we get back to school in April or whenever, that you guys are not too far behind. So that's why we created these videos and things so that you guys can stay up with some work. I know not all of you have access to Google Classroom and things like that. So, or you're not doing this on like a laptop or an iPad. But if you are doing this on a laptop or iPad, you can type your answers right into like some of the places, and then when like the boxes and things, like boxes like here or like here, and then when you type them in and when you're done with the entire packet, you can press submit, and then I'll get it, and then I can like, you know, give you comments and things like that. If you don't have an iPad, or even if you do have an iPad or a computer, you should have a separate sheet of paper and a pencil so that you're working through these problems. If you don't have an iPad that or a laptop, then you're working on things. You just have nothing to turn in. But if you ever have questions, Ms. Valerio sent out office hours and times that you can call to get your questions answered, and then we can work through problems together. All right. This first week, everything that we are learning is going to be review. So you're going to see things that you've already learned. If after this week, we're going to start learning some new stuff. And there's going to be a PDN that for every day. Today's is just random questions, but tomorrow you'll see more math related stuff. There'll be parts, well, I'll tell you the pause the video to complete a page, and then you'll unpause the video when you're done with that page to see if your answers are correct. And then at the end, there's going to be an exit ticket, and the exit ticket is a separate form or separate assignment inside of the Google Classroom. And when you're done with the exit ticket, you submit that, and that comes to me to see how you did on that day's concept. All right, so with all that said, let's get started with today's lesson. You can pause the video now so that you can work on the PDN, and then you can, when you're done with the PDN, you will unpause the video. So after you've done the PDN, obviously you've done the PDN because you unpaused the video, and there are no correct answers except for this question. What you missed the most about math class? You should have circled Mr. Roberts. If you didn't, then your answer is wrong. All right, let's go through the notes. All right, so we are reviewing greatest common factor. And we're reviewing greatest common factor because you're going to need to be able to figure out the greatest common factor of the numerator and denominator so that you can find simplest form, which will be tomorrow's lesson. And then after that, we're going to keep reviewing simplest form so that it becomes ingrained in you and you always know to simplify the fraction. All right, so today, a common factor is a number that is a factor of two or more numbers. The greatest common factor, and you can write this down on your, like if you have Google Classroom, you can type these in. If you don't, you can just write this on a separate sheet of paper. So just write what I write. So the greatest common factor, or GCF, is the greatest factor that two or more numbers have in common. So now I'm going to talk to you about how to find the greatest common factor. So this part right here, you're not going to be able to do on the computer. You're going to have to do it on the separate sheet of paper. So it says, example 1, find the greatest common factor of 12 and 18. Before we go to that, let's look at what steps we need to follow to find the greatest common factor. The first step, step 1, is to find the factors of each number. Step 2 is to list the factors both numbers have in common. And then step 3 is to circle the greatest or highest factor from the list. All right, so we'll break these down step by step. The first step, and like I said, this you should be writing onto your paper. it says find the factors of each number. So we're going to make a T-chart. This chart right here is called the T-chart. And we're going to write the numbers at the top, 12 and 18. All right. Now, I'm going to find the factors of each number. So I'm going to say to myself in my head, what two numbers multiplied to each other give us 12, and what two numbers multiplied with each other give us 18. So what two numbers multiplied with each other give you 12? We say 1 times 12. We say 2 times 6. And we say 3 times 4. And then there are no more. Let's go to 18 and do the same thing. We say 1 times 18. We say 2 times 9. 3 times 6. All right. Now I'm going to go to step 2, which is to list out all the common factors, all of them. We're just going to write them all down. All right. So all the common factors that they have are 1, 2, 3, and 6. Those are the numbers that are in both of these. 1, 2, 3, and 6. 1, 2, 3, and 6. Now, my last step is to identify the greatest factor, so the highest number in that list. And we know that 6 is higher than all those numbers. So the greatest common factor is 6. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's go on to the next example. Step 1, find the factors of each number. You're writing this, like I said, on the paper that you have next to you. And you are making a T-chart first. So I made my T-chart and I'm putting 16 and 20 at the top. And I'm going to write down the factors for both of those numbers. And my first one is 1 times 16. Then I have 2 times 8. And then I have 4 times 4. And I'll do the same thing for 20. And I do 1 times 20. 2 times 10. And 4 times 5. All right, now I'm going to list the common factors. What numbers do I see that both of those columns have in common? And I have 1, 2, and 4. So my greatest common factor, my highest number in that list, is 4. All right, now let's go through some practice problems. I'm going to do these with you. If at any point you want to see if you can practice on your own, you can pause the video, but then unpause the video when you're done with this page. All right. So if you feel confident you want to try these on your own, then that's fine. Just pause the video. But then when you're done with this page, unpause the video to check your work. All right. So we have 7 and 12. I'm putting that at the top of my T-chart. You should be making a T-chart on your paper. And writing out the factors of 7, which is 1 times 7. And then for 12, we have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. So I'm going to look and see what factors they have in common. And interesting, it's only 1. And so that means the greatest common factor is 1. That can happen sometimes. So sometimes the greatest common factor is only 1. All right, let's do this next one. We have our T-chart, and we're writing 15 and 20. And then our common factors are, our factors for 15 are 1 and 15, 3 and 5. And then for 20, we have 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 4 times 5. So I'll write out my common factors, which are 1 and 5. And my greatest common factor is 5. All right, and for this last one, sorry, my screen just went a little wonky. For this last one, we do 21 and 35 is in our T-chart. Factors of 21, 1 times 21, 3 times 7. And then factors of 35, 1 times 35. 5 times 7. And then our common factors are 1 and 7. The greatest common factor would be 7. All right. Now I'm going to send you off to do these problems on your own. When you're done, so pause the video, and then when you're done with this, you are going to unpause the video to check your answers. Do not go onto the exit ticket until I tell you to do so. All right, so pause the video now. All right, hopefully you got all of those same answers that I did. Now for your exit ticket. So, for your exit ticket, you have two problems here. You're finding the greatest common factor for 20 and 30, and then you're also finding the greatest common factor for 5 and 11. If you're able to, you can type your answer onto the worksheet, and then when you turn it in, I'll get that. If you're not able to, then you'll have to open the greatest common factor exit ticket, which looks like this, which looks like that. And then when you're done, you'll click the submit button to finish. There is one other thing that I want to say. If you're able to log into STMath, you should probably be spending at least 15 minutes on STMath a day to log in and just get that practice as well. If you're not able to log into STMath, I know Mr. Delorme said he was going to send out some other things that you guys could be working on. But hopefully you'll do well on today's lesson. If you have any questions, you can talk to me during those office hours that Miss Valerio sent out. Hope you're all well and have a good day.